The Time Trapper unveils a harrowing truth. He is the product of a distant future where Doomsday endured for millions of years. Through an endless cycle of death and rebirth, he evolved beyond mere brute strength, gaining intelligence, control over time itself, and an insatiable hunger for ultimate power. His evolution has brought him to the precipice of godhood, but his last fatal encounter with the Legion of Infinite Worlds has left him stranded in a state of immortality he cannot escape. Arriving in this era, he seeks Superman's aid in one final act, to deliver him the ultimate death that will complete his ascension. Yet he has arrived prematurely, too soon for his plans to unfold. Before vanishing into the time stream, he leaves Superman with a cryptic warning. The worst nightmare he has ever faced is yet to come, and when that moment arrives he will have to make an impossible choice: stand with the Time Trapper or watch everything and everyone he loves perish. As a gesture of trust, and to illustrate the benefit of working together, the Time Trapper halts time for a few precious seconds, allowing Superman a brief moment to prepare for the battle at hand. Seizing the opportunity, Superman propels himself across the globe at incomprehensible speed, gathering enough momentum to strike Doomsday with the force of a planetary collision. As time resumes, his blow lands with devastating impact, sending shockwaves rippling through Metropolis. The entire city trembles, buildings rattle, and windows shatter from the sheer force of the collision. But despite the catastrophic punch, Doomsday merely staggers before roaring back to life, more ferocious than ever. Mercy Graves, watching from a secure Supercorp command center, makes the call. It is time to activate Project Deadbeat. As John Henry Irons and Natasha Irons work tirelessly to evacuate civilians from the combat zone, an amnesiac Lex Luthor, driven by an instinct he does not yet understand, pulls a frightened child to safety, earning confused stares from those who once saw him as a villain. Meanwhile, Superman and Superwoman struggle to hold back the relentless Doomsday, their combined might barely enough to keep him at bay. Then Supercorp's reinforcements arrive. Armed with one of their most dangerous assets, Mercy unleashes Project Deadbeat, Parasite. The monstrous energy drainer latches onto Doomsday, sinking his claws deep into his adversary's hide, siphoning away his near-limitless strength. For a fleeting moment, hope flickers in the air. But Doomsday is no ordinary foe. With a blood-curdling roar, he rips Parasite apart, tearing him limb from limb in a grotesque display of raw savagery. The sight ignites a burning fury within Superman, and he launches a furious assault, his blows landing with enough force to fracture the ground beneath them. From the Supercorp control room, Lena Luthor monitors Superman's vital signs, her expression growing grim. His red levels are spiking, she warns, eyes narrowing at the data flooding her screens. As Superman pummels Doomsday into submission, his eyes glow with an eerie crimson radiance, veins pulsing with unstable red energy. His breathing is ragged, his body teetering on the brink of something unnatural. Then a voice cuts through the chaos, Lois Lane shouting his name. Her words reach him just in time. Superman halts his assault, the red glow dissipating from his eyes. With one final, shuddering breath, he collapses. Superwoman rushes forward, catching him before he hits the ground, lifting him into the sky while Supercorp forces move in to sedate and contain the unconscious Doomsday. Later that evening, Jimmy Olsen calls Lois with a troubling revelation. Supercorp is actively scrubbing all footage and images from the battle, deliberately obscuring Superwoman's face from public view. Lois, exhausted from the day's events, tells him they'll discuss it tomorrow. As she hangs up, she turns to Clark, who sits deep in thought, the weight of the Time Trapper's words still heavy on his mind. "I know the risks," Lois says softly. "I understand what it means to be out there." Clark nods, taking her hand. "I know," he replies. "But I'll always worry." His gaze drifts toward the night sky, haunted by the Time Trapper's ominous warning. What could be worse than Doomsday? Meanwhile, across the cosmos on the war-torn world of Calatin, a shadowed figure steps forward, clad in a suit strikingly similar to the containment armor Doomsday once wore upon his arrival on Earth. Watching the distant stars, he clenches his fists, his voice a whisper filled with vengeance. "Doomsday has returned," he mutters. "And now it is time for revenge." That's it for today's video, guys. If you enjoyed, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. I see you in the next video.